Iraq war veteran and Congressman Kinzinger joins us. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Greta, how are you?
Good. So I'm sure everyone's thinking that now that we have taken out the number 2, and good for our special ops for doing that, and the president for ordering that. I assume an order came down from the top. Should we now expect that there will be, or anticipate retaliation in some form?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, keep in mind, we lost a Marine recently in northern Iraq at a fire base. There's all kinds of possibilities, an attack in the United States maybe, an attack in Europe. But it's something we have to expect. We have to take these folks out. Taking out this number 2 was a great thing. And I'll tell you, when I was in Iraq, these were actually the part of the missions that I was involved in. I flew an RC-26, which is an ISR platform, and we were part of the task force that did these kinds of missions. We would find these guys, and then the special ops would come in and take care of it. And it seems like what happened here, they intended to capture him. But yeah, you make a bad choice, you pull a gun or you do something wrong, it turns into a kill mission. But the captures are great because you end up getting a lot of intelligence, and I expect to see way more of this by our brave special operators in the future.
All right, well, it's hard to determine what the link is between ISIS and Belgium, although ISIS has gone online and praised what happened. So clearly, they're sympathizers if they're not planners or plotters or encouragers. So we've got the situation now in Belgium where we've got President Erdogan of Turkey saying that they're incompetent, that they've been notified of people returning from Syria to Belgium. Belgium now seems to be a breeding ground for many of these terrorists. Look at the massacre in France, look at the massacre here. At what point do we try to step in and help Belgium? Because either they're ignoring it or incompetent, as Erdogan says, or they are certainly underqualified for this or understaffed.
Yeah, I think we need to figure out which that is. If it's an incompetence in terms of lack of technology or lack of information, then obviously there's ways we can help. But what I actually fear is that there's a political correctness that has really kind of penetrated Europe to the extent of, initially they open their doors and just say anybody that wants to leave the Middle East, come on into Europe. We're a welcoming continent. But you find out that while most of the refugees probably are great people that are just wanting to leave a war-torn area, you can't censor, you can't get rid of the folks that are coming in with bad intentions. And so this, I guess, good-hearted intentions by Europe, this political correctness has probably now led to where they did not have human intelligence on the ground in some of these neighborhoods.
Well, congratulations to the United States, our law enforcement, because we've managed to keep a minimum amount of terrorism here in the United States. Obviously, we had San Bernardino recently, but our law enforcement seems to have been doing a really, really good job. But, of course, we're also mindful of the fact that there are about 28 nations in Europe that can come to the United States without a visa. And, so it's rather disturbing. Are we preparing, are we giving our law enforcement what they need to keep up the fight to protect us?
Yeah, and we need to ask that question every day. Part of the omnibus bill in the fall was getting rid of the visa waiver issues, which was a big problem. We need to continue to see where there's lapses in security like that. But, again, the refugee crisis you have in Europe, number one, it has drained the Middle East of the very people that we say we're going to need to actually fight to overthrow Assad or to get rid of ISIS. But the other thing is you don't know if somebody's a terrorist until they take that very first step, whether it's a Facebook post, whether it's trying to reach out to somebody, or whether it's procuring a bomb or bomb-making materials. And so I suspect, and I hate to say it, it really hurts to say it, that there's probably a lot more of these cells right now waiting in Europe. I think, Greta, that this is a generational fight, and I think my entire generation for the rest of my life will be involved to some level in this. As much as I hate to say it, I just think it's a fact.
Congressman, thank you.